Hi, I'm Appelusa, and this is your transitions tutorial. Now, in USA roller sports figure skating, we use the term Mohawk Turns and Choctaws to describe transitions backwards to forwards and forwards to backwards on edges, whether from the same edge to the same edge or from one edge to an opposite edge. Now, it has been brought to my attention through Instagram that the Native American community is offended that these terms are being used as they are sacred dances and part of their cultural heritage and shouldn't be used to describe terms in figure skating, whether ice or roller. Today, I will be using the terms transitions to describe these turns. Let's start with standing still. So I'm going to keep my feet pretty close together, and I'm going to start with my left hand in front. Now what we are going to be doing is stepping from forwards to backwards, standing still. My left hand and my left toe stop are going to turn towards my left shoulder. If I wanted to turn to the right, I would be using my right hand, my right shoulder, and my right foot to turn to the right. So left side turns to the left. I'm going to pretend there's a string tied between my fingers and my toe stop, and that string is rotating together. In fact, I'm going to keep that hand in front of my belly button, and my nose, belly button, hand, and foot are all going to turn at the same time. Now you'll notice that I am stepping completely halfway around. I am not getting stuck in the middle. And so all of these techniques are really going to help you step all the way around so you don't get stuck in the middle. So I also want you to pretend you have flashlights on your hips or laser beams, and those laser beams have to step all the way around so that they're going on either side of the new foot. All right, so here we go. I'm lifting up my left foot. I'm rotating, 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 rotating. I'm taking my hips the rest of the way, and I'm stepping backwards. Now, one thing you might want to do is glance down and make sure that you have stepped with your feet all the way around and parallel, and make any adjustments you need to if they're not. That way you know if you've stepped down too early and your toe is pointed this way, or if you've stepped down and now your feet are in a V because your old foot didn't quite make it around either. One thing I want you to make sure that you're doing is keeping your center alignment. So what I mean by that is when you step around, you're not leaning towards the new foot, because that will guarantee you will step down too early. We're going to hold our center alignment. Weight is in the center of my standing foot. I am not letting my knee conk in, as I always say, and I'm keeping my body straight over that foot as I rotate the hips and step down to my new direction. Let's try going the other direction. So I've got my right hand in front. I'm keeping my center alignment over my left foot. I'm putting that pretend string between my fingers and my toe stop. I'm turning my nose, fingers, belly button, and toes at the same time. I have my flashlights on, and I'm rotating to the new foot. Let's try that again. This time I'm going to keep my hands on my hips so you can see. And I'm turning those hips all the way around. Now, no one is really built, I don't think, except for the ballerinas of the world, to be able to really stand with your feet completely in a straight line. I know I am not. But if you rotate from the center here and you step around rather quickly, you're not going to end up in this position. You are transferring your weight from one foot to the next foot. But one thing I do want you to work on is trying to hold that foot open and open the toe as you step around, and hold that foot up into the air until you are all the way around. So you're holding, and take those hips and step the rest of the way. So now that you have all those tips and notes in mind, let's try this rolling. The easiest one to do is from backwards to forwards. So I'm going to go ahead and roll backwards. I've got my left hand in front. I'm standing on my right foot, and I'm going to open, 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 take my hips the rest of the way, and I've stepped forwards. Now this is something you're going to want to drill going both directions a lot. Spend a good 5-10 minutes on this. Now let's try forwards to backwards. This one is a little bit trickier. One technique that I have that's going to make it a little easier is try to reach around your foot to the other side, much like fifth position in ballet. Okay, so I'm going to rotate towards the left, and I'm going to reach around my foot to the other side of my right foot. Let's watch that again. So rolling it would look like this. Now let's try going to the right. So I'm really opening up my toe there, rotating my hips and shoulders, not letting my knee conk in or my arch collapse on my standing foot, trying to keep my alignment there and getting to the other side of that foot by really rotating the hips. Now when you get good at these, you can try to do them a little bit faster. Try to drill them in both directions. Step together, step together. Now let's try doing these on an edge. So we did these relatively straight with no edge. Now let's try to add an edge. So I'm going to pretend I have a circle here, and I'm going to start with an inside edge and end on an inside edge. So what I mean by that is I'm doing a right inside edge to a left inside edge. Now my first position here is this. Now I am pointing my free leg. So if you don't want to look like this when you skate, you're also going to have to think about your free leg. It's as if someone is pulling you by their big toe wheel and it's straightening that leg. My leg is nice and taut. Someone could sit on it and is not moving. I'm lifting up my kneecap so the back of my knee is straight. I'm pointing through my big toe wheel down at the ground. My low belly is engaged. On my standing foot to create that inside edge, I am back on the inner heel wheel. My knee is bent, so my alignment is right over that foot, and I'm holding that position for position 1. My hips are slightly open, my shoulders are slightly open. I am not letting that knee conk in so far that it's off my skates, and I'm not leaning my hips in so that I can't hold that balance. I'm really keeping my hips on either side of my foot there, and holding that position. So that's position 1. To create the Mohawk turn, I bring my free leg in. I go heel to heel, I do that rotation of the hips, I step down, my hips are now rotated, and now for a backwards inside edge, I am on the big toe wheel, center and big toe wheel of the standing foot with my free leg pointed behind me. I'm looking back over my backhand there. Now if you're going the same direction as me, I am on my right foot and transitioning to the left foot. Right foot, transition to the left foot. My arms really aren't moving. It's more my hips and the center of my body there. I'm still looking over this right hand from forwards to backwards. So my head is not moving. I'm looking right over that hand. Let's try going the other direction. So if I'm standing on my left foot, I'm pressing kind of the center to the back. You'll have a better roll if you're pressing towards the back, but do what feels good for you. Pressing the inside, I'm bringing my free leg in. I'm pressing now on the toe, centered to big toe wheel of the right foot. I'm keeping my gaze over my left hand. I'm bringing my free leg in and pointing my toe behind me. Done, done, done. You can do that back to front and front to back. All right, so those were inside to inside edges. Now let's try outside edges to outside edges. Maybe a little bit trickier for you. I'm going to start on my left foot. You'll already see that I'm leaning towards the center of the circle with the hips and the shoulders. I'm pressing the outside edge by pressing my knee and pressing my foot to the outside edge, center to the back. You can either go heel to heel or you can reach around to the other side, and we are now on an outside edge on the new foot, the right foot going backwards, pressing over the outside baby toe, center to baby toe wheel. Now there's two things you can do with your free leg here. Your free leg can still go behind you and stretch. Let's try that a couple times and I'll show you something different. You still keep your gaze over your back hand. The free leg is right underneath that hand. Outside edge, outside edge. Now the free leg needs to kind of pull towards the center of the circle there You don't really want it out to the side. Let's pull it back and keep the hips a little bit open there. So let's try that one more time on this foot. Outside edge to outside edge. Now, the new thing you can do with the free leg is push it in front. So what that's going to look like is this. Outside edge to push. So in slow motion, what I've done there is I'm on an outside edge on my left foot. I'm going to kind of create that fifth position there, and you can see that now I can push off with the left foot in front of me because it's at an angle. I can push off the baby toe and big toe wheel there and point through that baby toe wheel at the end. So again, that looks like this. And you can try that a couple of times if that works for you. Let's try going the other direction. Right outside edge to left outside edge. Again, you're pulling your free leg back towards the center of the circle. And you can try that with a push. So same thing as we're going to do, all those body alignment notes still apply, except this time we're going to give a little hop. Now to set up for this, I want you to try a safety, hop, safety. We're landing on all 8 wheels, pressing down, belly's tight, our knees are bent. We're in safety, hop, safety. Now the reason we're doing this is because you're going to start and land more or less in that position on one foot. We're going to give a little push up, rotate, and land. It'll look like this. Okay? All right, now make sure when you do this, you don't stick your buns out and straighten your legs. It is common for people to do this because they don't want to fall over, so their body just kind of takes up as much space as possible. But actually what that does, it does make you fall down because now your legs are straight, which means your feet can go out from underneath you. You're tipped forward, so you have no belly engagement, and you're basically aiming for the floor. So we want to bend our knees, keep our low belly engaged, kind of tilt your tailbone down a little bit. A good analogy is pretending your hips are a bowl of water, and we don't want to dump that water out by doing this. We want to keep that bowl full of water. So just imagine that there, and we're going to do a little lift up, maybe 1 foot at a time. Left, right, and by left I mean turning towards the left with the left foot. So you'll be standing on your right foot, you'll give a little push up, we'll rotate, and then we'll really turn that right side around and make sure we land with our feet parallel. Up and over. Let's try the other side. So we're standing on the left foot, we're going to be lifting up and rotating with the right side, and then following through with the left side. So look like this, tailbone tucked under, belly in, up and rotate. Now if you try this rolling, I'm going to turn to the left, it'll look like this. And if you turn to the right, it'll look like this. And if you want to try it forwards to backwards, it'll look like this. I'm Appelusa, and this was your transitions tutorial. I hope it was informative. Happy rolling. Please subscribe, and we'll see you for the next tutorial.